Hey folks, welcome back to your Week 12 NFL picks. We're doing them early this week because of the Thanksgiving holiday tomorrow. And of course, there are three games that start early tomorrow. The first one's, of course, at noon Eastern and 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. Pacific. So let's get right to it. Last week we were 12-2. That was our best week all season. Straight up again. This is only for entertainment purposes and no gambling involved. But so we went 12-2. And we're 101-63 for the season so far, so just above the 60% line. So not going to complain about that. Let's dive right into tomorrow's turkey games. First off, we have the GBs of Green Bay at the Kittens of Detroit. Detroit's favored by 7.5 this one, and the line is 47.5. So I'm going to say Detroit will cover in this one. I think Detroit will be able to take care of Jordan Love and the Packers there at home. So I'm going to go with Detroit. And then the matinee is the Washingtons at the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are favored by 12.5 in this one. It's a fat line, but they're at home and they've got that ruckus crowd there. I'm going to go with Dallas at home. I think they will cover, in fact, too. I don't see Washington being able to keep up with CeeDee Lamb and that great offense that Dallas seems to have when they're not in San Francisco. Over-under on this one is 48.5, but I'm going to take Dallas on that one. And then the nightcap tomorrow night features San Francisco at the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are a 7.5-point underdog in this one at home to the Niners. It's a fat line for the Niners as a road team. 43.5 is the over/under. I'm going to go with the Niners on this one. I think the Niners will be able to prevail. It wouldn't surprise me if Seattle won, but I think San Fran will pull it out. Whether or not it's a 7.5-point spread or greater, I don't think that's going to happen. But I think San Fran will pull it out. And then Friday, we've got a brand new Friday after Thanksgiving game featuring my Dolphins at the New York Jets. Dolphins are favored by 9.5 in this one. Jets are going with the backup Boyce, I think his last name is, because Zach Wilson got benched after his performance last week. So in Buffalo. So Miami a 9.5-point favorite on the road here. Over under 40.5. They're not expecting a whole lot of scoring, it looks like, but I'm going to go ahead and take Miami, certainly on the road. The fat line scares me, but again, this is for entertainment purposes only, and we do straight up here only. So I think Miami will prevail straight up. And then we go into the Sunday games, the early slate, 1 p.m. Eastern. We have New Orleans traveling into Atlanta. The Saints will go marching into Atlanta and Mercedes-Benz Dome there. The Falcons are favored by 1 in this one at home. 42.5 is your over/under. I'm going to take Atlanta at home. I think Atlanta will prevail at home. They play pretty well at home. And the Saints are a 500 team, and of course the Falcons are 4-6. But I think that Atlanta will be the team to come out ahead here. And you got Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Very intriguing game now without Joe Burrow. Pittsburgh's actually a 1.5-point road favorite in this one. Over under 35.5. That's really low. But again, this is the NFC North. I'm sorry, AFC North. So these defenses, it's really hard to try and score against them. So that's probably why it's at 35.5. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with Pittsburgh on this one. I saw Cincinnati's backup play last week. Wasn't very impressed. I think that even though they're at home, I think they're going to end up losing to Pittsburgh in this one. So yeah, Pittsburgh over Cincinnati. And then we got Kittens of Carolina at the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans are 3-7, even with Will Levis and as the quarterback and Ryan Tannehill being benched. They're still not doing very well at all. I think this is a beginning of a rebuild for them. Line on this one, Tennessee by 3.5. 36.5 is your over/under. I'm going to go with Tennessee at home here. I don't know that they will cover. That's a very tight line over/under. So I think that they will probably end up being very close to that line. That's probably why they gave him the extra half point there. So I'm going to go with Tennessee at home. Tampa Bay at Indy. This is another intriguing matchup. Indy's favored by 2.5. Tampa Bay played okay at San Francisco last week. Over/under here, 43.5. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Colts here. I think the Colts will prevail at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't think that the Bucs will be able to pull this one off. Indy has the better record at 5-5, and the Bucs are 4-6 right now. So I'm going to go with Indy. New England at the Giants. New England's actually a 3-point road favorite in this one against the Giants, the Gigantes of New York. This one is tough. I'm going to call an upset here and say the Giants will come out and overcome New England, and they're almost lethargic offense. I don't know why they're favored in this one. I don't know why they're favored by 3, but I'm gonna go take a chance and go with the Giants. It wouldn't surprise me if New England won, but I'm gonna go with the Giants. I think the Giants will be able to pull this one off. And then you've got the other Kittens from Jacksonville playing at Houston. Very dangerous game here. Jacksonville's favored by 2 as a road team here. Game's in Houston, and the over-under is 48.5. Jacksonville does not play Houston very well for whatever reason, whether it be the color scheme or something about the Texans just scares Jacksonville. They do not play the Texans very well at all. I'm going to go for the upset, and I'm going to call the Houston Texans. This will put them in a tie, actually, for first place if Houston were to win. They'd both be 7-4. I'm going to call for Houston in this one, call the home team, and call the upset there. And then we've got Cleveland at Denver, another intriguing matchup. Cleveland's tight defense, but then you've got Denver that really shocked the world last week, being able to win the way they did against the Vikings at home. So over under in this one's 36.5. Again, not a whole lot of scoring they're expecting. And then Denver's the 1.5 point home favorite. I'm going to go with Denver on this one. I think Denver will be able to prevail at home over the Cleveland Browns and that wonderful defense they have. But they're in the Mile High City, so I think Denver will be able to pull it off. And then you got the Rams of Los Angeles at the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona's a 1 point home favorite in this one. I'm going to go with Arizona. I think Arizona will be able to pull this out. Kyler Murray will be running all over the place for his life, but I think they'll be able to pull this one off at home. Over under 44.5. I'm going to go with Arizona on this one. The Chiefs come into Sin City, down the road from me here, to play the Las Vegas Raiders. The Chiefs are, of course, 7-3, coming off that really surprising loss at home. Maybe it wasn't surprising to some people, but it was still surprising to see him lose at home, and certainly Andy Reid to lose to his former team and the Eagles there on Monday night. Coming off a short week because of that Monday nighter, they're an 8.5 point favorite at the Raiders, and 42.5 is your over-under. As much as I don't want to, I'm going to have to go with the Chiefs on this one. I think the Chiefs will be able to prevail against the Raiders. Raiders just haven't been able to show very much. They played the Dolphins tightly last week, but I don't think that they're going to be able to beat the Chiefs. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Chiefs here in this one. And then a good one, Buffalo at Philly. Which Buffalo team will show up to this one? Nobody knows. Philly's only favored by 3.5. I would definitely take that line, but again, this is for entertainment purposes only. But Philly's favored by 3.5, over under 48.5. Philly, again, 9-1, coming off that huge win at KC on Monday night. I like Philly at home. I think they will prevail. I think they're going to beat them by more than 3.5 points. So I'm going to take Philly in this one. And then you got Baltimore traveling to the West Coast to take on the Chargers of Los Angeles. Another tricky matchup here. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are favored by 3.5 over the Electric Bolts, and the over-under are over-under is 48.5. I'm going to go ahead and call Baltimore on this one. I think Baltimore will prevail Sunday night in LA against the Chargers. Might not be surprising if the Chargers did pull off the upset, but I think Baltimore will be able to win this one. And then Monday night brings us a game between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are favored by 3.5 at home, over under 43.5. Definitely going to take the Vikings at home here on Monday night. They're going to be looking to avenge that loss at Denver last week. So definitely going to take the Vikings. Hopefully we can improve upon that 61% winning percentage we have right straight up for the season. And we will see you again next week. Have a great Thanksgiving weekend, everyone, and thanks for joining.